We're learning more tonight about a proposed regional business park that's set to be built near Georgetown. The city's planning commission approved plans to expand its urban service boundary back in July for this development.
It's being supported by regional funds from local governments in Lexington and in Madison County. Our Jeremy Tom shares the new details on the park's potential development.
Concerned citizens and community stakeholders convened in Scott County Tuesday as an hours-long specially called meeting centered on a proposed new business park.
If the number is correct that we could possibly put approximately 1,400 jobs at this site, that's almost $100 million annually that goes into our region.
6 different government entities across Scott, Fayette, and Madison counties will help fund the site off McClellan Circle in Georgetown. Each of them were represented tonight as they learned more about how this park and others like it could take shape.
An interlocal cooperation agreement is required by statute whenever multiple counties are coming together to put funds into a joint project.
A draft of that agreement details the creation of a Central Kentucky Business Park Authority to manage the Triple Crown Business Park and oversee its finances. The independent body would be made up of 6 members with 2 from each county, and the agreement also breaks down how revenue generated from the park could be shared among those communities, with 10% going to Georgetown, Scott County off the top for hosting the site.
I think that is a very small number considering we are assuming all of the risk.
Locals like Caitlin Tudor have ongoing worries, from traffic and environmental impacts to the what-ifs around this significant long-term project.
And we're talking about tens of millions of dollars that has to be put towards this on hopes and thoughts and non-guarantees.
If not this, then tell me what. Because in my opinion, doing nothing is not an option.
In Georgetown, Jeremy Toms, WKYT.
Georgetown Mayor Bernie Jenkins says the next step is for both their county's fiscal courts and the city council to vote on approval of the agreement.